When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. The gift of fantasy has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge. Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. All that is valuable in human society depends upon the opportunity for development accorded the individual. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Before God, we are all equally wise and equally foolish. Memory is deceptive because it is colored by today's events. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Pure mathematics is, in its way, the poetry of logical ideas. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives, and not in what he is able to receive. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. A table, a chair, a bowl of fruit, and a violin. What else does a man need to be happy? Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. He who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Any man who can drive safely while kissing a pretty girl is simply not giving the kiss the attention it deserves. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can live as if everything is a miracle. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? The world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the people who are evil, but because of the people who don't do anything about it. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. The only source of knowledge is experience. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. I have no special talent. I'm only passionately curious. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Only two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. A person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. The hardest thing to understand in the world is the income tax. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. I am not only a pacifist, but a militant pacifist. I am willing to fight for peace. Nothing will end war unless the people themselves refuse to go to war. If you are out to describe the truth, leave elegance to the tailor. It is strange to be known so universally and yet to be so lonely. A question that sometimes drives me hazy. Am I or are the others crazy? I want to know all God's thoughts. All the rest are just details. In matters of truth and justice, there is no difference between large and small problems, for issues concerning the treatment of people are all the same. The environment is everything that isn't me. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. Information is not knowledge. The fear of death is the most unjustified of all fears, for there's no risk of accident for someone who's dead. We still do not know 1,000th of 1% of what nature has revealed to us. Whoever undertakes to set himself up as a judge of truth and knowledge is shipwrecked by the laughter of the gods. When the solution is simple, God is answering. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. I believe that a simple and unassuming manner of life is best for everyone, best both for the body and the mind. We cannot despair of humanity, since we ourselves are human beings. The devil has put a penalty on all things we enjoy in life. Either we suffer in health, or we suffer in soul, or we get fat. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. Most people say that it is the intellect which makes a great scientist. They are wrong. It is character. Without deep reflection, one knows from daily life that one exists for other people. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable superior spirit who reveals himself in the slight details we are able to perceive with our frail and feeble mind. Only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master. For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Concern for man and his fate must always form the chief interest of all technical endeavors. Never forget this in the midst of your diagrams and equations. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. I do not believe that civilization will be wiped out in a war fought with the atomic bomb. Perhaps 2/3 of the people of the earth will be killed. All religions, arts, and sciences are branches of the same tree. People love chopping wood. In this activity, one immediately sees results. The only real valuable thing is intuition. To raise new questions, new possibilities, to regard old problems from a new angle requires creative imagination and marks real advance in science. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater. It is a miracle that curiosity survives formal education. Politics is for the present, but an equation is for eternity. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. Force always attracts men of low morality. The high destiny of the individual is to serve rather than to rule. We should take care not to make the intellect our goal. It has, of course, powerful muscles, but no personality. Science is a wonderful thing if one does not have to earn one's living at it. Anger dwells only in the bosom of fools. I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share. It is time to go. I will do it elegantly. I do not believe in the God of theology who rewards good and punishes evil. Anyone who doesn't take truth seriously in small matters cannot be trusted in large ones either. Let every man be respected as an individual and no man idolized. I think and think for months and years. 99 times the conclusion is false. The 100th time I am right. There is no logical way to the discovery of these elemental laws. There is only the way of intuition, which is helped by a feeling for the order lying behind the appearance. It should be possible to explain the laws of physics to a barmaid. He who joyfully marches to music in rank and file has already earned my contempt. He has been given a large brain by mistake, since for him the spinal cord would suffice. The whole of science is nothing more than a refinement of everyday thinking. True religion is real living, living with all one's soul, with all one's goodness and righteousness. That deep emotional conviction of the presence of a superior reasoning power, which is revealed in the incomprehensible universe, forms my idea of God. Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute, and it seems like an hour. Sit with a pretty girl for an hour, and it seems like a minute. I love to travel but hate to arrive. It is my conviction that killing under the cloak of war is nothing but an act of murder. A man should look for what is, and not for what he thinks should be. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. I do not believe in immortality of the individual, and I consider ethics to be an exclusively human concern with no superhuman authority behind it. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts.